Well, we had a meeting today with Graham Shields, the Chief Electoral Officer, to discuss some of the concerns that we have with regards to the electoral registration drive, which is ongoing at the moment. We have major concerns because there's thousands of people who have not returned the registration forms, and we have called upon Graham Shields and the Electoral Office to ensure that they do not take other people's names off the electoral registration. Currently, right throughout the north, there's over 400,000 people who have not registered yet. That's a massive amount of people who could be disenfranchised by come the next election next May. So it is important that as many people get on the registration now, fill in their forms, but it's also very important, and this is one of the reasons why we did the meeting with Graham Shields today, to call on him not to take people off the register. We could see thousands of people being removed from the register just shortly after Christmas, and I don't think that's acceptable.
Well, obviously this was an opportunity for us to air some of our serious concerns. Anybody who takes a look at the latest statistics, one of the glaringly obvious things is that particularly electoral wards that would be described as disadvantaged or socio-economically depraved have a much lower return rate. So what we are saying is that is obviously an imbalance that needs addressed. It needs addressed sooner rather than later. The onus remains on the electoral office as the main drivers and the main people responsible for that to make sure that imbalance, and it is quite a significant imbalance between certain wards across the city, is redressed as soon as possible, because as Paul said earlier on, the reality for people is if they don't, and the key message from today that Sinn Féin would be given to people out there is, if you're not on the electoral register now, you need to get on the electoral register before the deadline, and that is a key message, or else I think the progress that we have made, not just here in Belfast City Hall, but also at the Assembly and indeed in Europe, is at risk. So people know, our electorate know, they have been around these corners many times before. The key message that we articulated to Graham Shields, the Chief Electoral Officer, was that his office, outside of the canvass that has been carried out across the north, where there is a discrepancy, where there is an imbalance, it needs addressed. So they need to put focused resources, they need to put clinics, they need to put the opportunity and give people the tools and the resources to get themselves on the register. So that's certainly what Sinn Féin will be keeping a very, very close eye on in terms of how the registration drive is going, but also in the coming weeks and months what the Electoral Office and indeed ourselves as party activists have to do to make sure the people come next May get their vote and are able to use it.